Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really profound philosophical exploration. We're going to navigate a path that actually moves us away from this seemingly impossible task of intellectually defining the divine and guides us toward the comforting reality of personally experiencing it. Basically, it's a journey out of the mind and directly into the heart. So think about this highly relatable communication challenge for a second. Have you ever actually tried explaining God to a 10-year-old? Right. If you've ever been in this situation, you know that trying to explain the fundamental nature of the universe to a kid usually just ends in a lot of blank stares. So naturally, we pivot. Instead of agonizing over what God is, we usually just start by explaining what God does. And this perfectly highlights the divide between focusing on God's nature versus God's actions. Pointing out beautiful, compassionate actions is obviously way easier for a child to grasp, but according to our sources, it's also exactly how Muslims are meant to explain their faith to others. It's not through complex debates or abstract theories, it's through beautiful behavior. Your actions literally become the ultimate translation of your faith.
But okay, what happens when we inevitably do try to explain God's nature? Well, human language essentially relies on a few different theisms. There's pantheism, which argues that everything we experience as reality is God. You, me, the sky, all of it. Then there's panentheism, which suggests everything is God, but God is also much more than just our experiences. And finally, traditional monotheism, asserting there is only one God. But honestly, defining monotheism leads us straight into a fascinating recursive loop. Think about it. If there is only God, then what is God? There is this striking idea from the sources that captures this perfectly. The moment we understand something and can explain it, well, then it fails to be God. And that right there brings us to the core paradox of our exploration today. Because God is completely unlike anything we know or can experience, we are absolutely helpless to truly understand or define him using the strict confines of human language. He is simply above it all. So, because of that linguistic helplessness, we have to totally flip our approach. Rather than confidently defining what God is, we can only safely and accurately declare what God is not. That's actually the essence of the phrase "no God but God." It's basically an exercise in subtraction. We can look up and know for sure that the sun is not God. We look at the night sky and know the moon is not God. We find our definition entirely in the negative space. However, just because creation isn't God doesn't mean it lacks divine value. Recognizing that everything is directly created by God gives the entire universe a remarkably high position of respect. Think about the intense reverence some believers hold for the physical belongings of the Prophet Muhammad, like his shoes or his hair. Now apply that same logic universally. If everything is literally handcrafted by the divine, shouldn't everything and everyone command that same deep respect and remind us of God? And this boundless respect stems from the attributes of a being we can't fully comprehend. Because God is completely unlike anything we know, he isn't confined to our physical constraints of space or time. This means God isn't just in Makkah, he's with us right now. He is instantly conscious of all our emotions and our thoughts the very split second they happen. There's no hiding, and there are absolutely no secrets. But as we dive deeper, this raises some really mind-bending philosophical puzzles. If God is everywhere and not confined to space or time, why did the Prophet Muhammad have to physically travel during the events of Isra and Miraj, the miraculous night journey to the heavens? The sources note that he physically journeyed to visit God personally. It really makes you wonder about the intersection of our physical universe and the completely unphysical divine, which leaves us with these mysterious glimpses of what we might call divine mechanics. We obviously can imagine infinity, but we are given these ideas to ponder. For instance, the concept of a physical throne surrounded by angels, acting as a crucial link between our physical universe and whatever lies beyond. We also see wildly different methods of communication. God spoke to Moses directly. He communicated with Muhammad initially through an angel, and with Abraham? Well, the exact method remains a mystery. It is a vast, unimaginable system. Okay, so with all this unimaginable complexity, the throne, the angels, the varied communication, we keep coming back to this single, solitary number, 1. When monotheists say God is one, what are they actually saying? Does this mean we're simply counting a being that we can't even comprehend? I mean, how do you mathematically count infinity? Actually, scratch that math idea. According to the Quran, specifically Surah Al-Ikhlas, declaring God as one isn't a math equation at all. The verse commands, say, He is God, the One. It's asking the believer to make a statement about themselves. It's a deeply personal, entirely subjective commitment. It's a declaration that you agree to take only one God into your life, choosing to focus solely on the divine and explicitly rejecting everyday distractions like the pursuit of money or power. Saying God is one is a lot like telling someone, you're the one. It defines an exclusive, comforting relationship status. It's absolutely not a scientific measurement or a tally mark on a chalkboard. It is an intimate declaration of your focus and devotion. Building on that whole idea of a relationship, our sources provide a deeply grounding metaphor. Instead of agonizing over an abstract, distant entity we can't define, it's far more practical to view God as the unseen fertilizer in a garden. Just like fertilizer continuously works beneath the surface to nourish the soil for the plant, God is continuously nourishing us, sustaining our existence, and taking care of us day in and day out. It is fundamentally about a relationship and an ongoing experience. Let's run a quick thought experiment to really lock this concept in. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that you are completely blind. You can't see anything at all, but you are constantly in the company of someone who is totally, perfectly taking care of you. Every single need you have is being met. Because you're blind, you can't possibly know what your amazing caretaker actually looks like. Think about it. They could be a human being. They could be a highly intelligent gorilla. They could even be an alien from another galaxy. Without the ability to see them, their physical nature is entirely a mystery to you. So the absolutely crucial question is this: does it matter? Does it actually matter what your guide looks like or what their exact nature is if you are continuously experiencing their profound care? The conclusion drawn by our sources is a resounding no. There is no real advantage in intellectually understanding the exact nature of God. All that truly matters is your direct, personal experience of His relationship and care. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to carry with you today. Are we spending way too much of our precious energy trying to define the unseen caretaker when we could just be appreciating the warmth of the blanket they've wrapped around us?